welcome or welcome back to Foxey Sunrise. Hi, welcome to my home / YouTube channel / me, Tiffany. Hi, my name is Tiffany with a PH. Today we're doing a reading. All the cards are pre-shuffled for time purposes. Sometimes I do shuffle on camera, but the last reading and this reading, this is what I felt like doing. So today we're talking about sexual energy. Since we're hitting the tail end of Leo season, I was inspired to talk about this. So yeah, we are diving into how we can tap into our sexual energy, aka our life force energy, aka our creative energy. So I'm just putting that disclaimer out because I notice when I pick a topic, I may have an expectation of how things will unravel, and then I'm always surprised, which is what's so fun about choosing a topic and diving into each group. It's always fun for me. So pick as many groups as you're guided towards. All the timestamps will be down below in the description box, as well as sometimes I'll include descriptions of the reading in case it's not very clear what it's about through the title. So there's that, as well as my socials and offerings, which right now it's just a podcast. So yes, thank you guys for stopping by. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and take notes if anything comes up for you. It's always cool to look back at the insights that we receive from things like this. So yeah, that's just something to consider. So we have 3 groups today. Insight is group 1. Contemplation is group 2. And recognition is group 3. I don't know if you saw, because the sun is shining through the window right now. I don't know if group 1 saw theirs. These cards are reflective, so they're hard to see with the sunlight, but really cool. Okay, I'll see y'all at your pile. Hey group 1, welcome to your reading about tapping into your sexual energy. If you hear any noise besides the background sounds, I think I don't know if it's supposed to rain, but there's some thunder going on, so if you hear that, that's probably what it is. Okay, so before I uncover all of the cards, Insight in Reverse was your theme for tapping into your sexual energy. So for me, this is this feels like there's some doubt here and insecurity around incompetence or inadequacy. It's almost as if the sexual energy and creative life force is being blocked off, like suppressed in some way or repressed. Maybe there's a fear of expressing yourself in this way. I'm also getting a sense of fear around vulnerability, because there's a lot of trust that goes into tapping into or following your intuition and insight. And with it being reversed here, it gives off this vibe of a lot of mental activity, a lot of left brain logical activity, and a desire and need to be in control. Yeah, this person feels very tense. So before I start talking about zodiac signs, there is a link underneath the timestamps that I placed there for anyone who wants to check out their birth chart. And having your time of birth gives you the most specific delineations. Yeah, so I'm getting strong Virgo energy. Mercury in Virgo, or Mercury in the 6th house of the birth chart. A little bit of Gemini energy as well. There's just a very heady feeling with this group. I am seeing and hearing the phrase overthinking sex. So this feels like somebody who might experience things like performance anxiety. Maybe you've never had an orgasm, or it's very difficult for you to have an orgasm with someone else. Maybe not by yourself because you're in control, but with someone else. Maybe you have to do some work to yourself to get there. And I'm even seeing somebody who judges their creations. They nitpick their body, which I feel is a form of art that has been made through the creation that our parents sort of created. I hate using the same word twice, but yeah, our parents had sex and that's how they created us. That was a form of creation. And so the body that we walk around in is a piece of art. So I could also see this person in group 1 may have some body image issues. So you judge and critique and nitpick the art that is your body, your form that you came into this life with. So, I'm leaning into the realm of eating, disorderly eating, restrictive eating, body dysmorphia, anxiety, BFRBs, which are body-focused repetitive behaviors, so picking your skin, popping your acne compulsively, freaking out when you have a zit on your face, and hair pulling, things like that. Nail biting is one, but I'm not really seeing much of that. But there is an inability to ground into the body and experience pleasure in romantic and platonic ways. So by that I mean sexually receiving pleasure or enjoying food and other earthly things, having an issue enjoying the pleasures of life because you are so stuck in your head. So the card that I flipped over, I trust the change unfolding in my life. So trust here again sticks out. She looks very relaxed in this photo, and there's a halo around her head, which is a common depiction in religious art, symbolizing enlightenment, illumination. So this kind of reminds me of the practice of meditation, of stillness. I'm seeing that scanning your body, doing some sort of body scan could be helpful so that you're aware of where you're tense. And you could actively do this. You don't have to sit down if that doesn't sound appealing to you, to sit down and scan your body. But possibly whenever you have moments of pause, bring yourself back to awareness, which can also help you come back into your body by doing a body scan and just asking yourself, where am I tense here? So we have Sagittarius in reverse, getting lost in the details. Trust your own understanding. Again, the word trust, that's awesome. And then we have the number 32 here. In numerology, There's specific numbers you don't add together. I know that sounds super ridiculous for some. I don't know. I always assume that there's at least a few people that would watch this that are very logical and rational and what's the word I'm looking for? Discriminating. So sometimes I explain certain things and I'm like, oh my gosh, this sounds so ridiculous. But anyways, for any of you who are interested, sometimes I'll add up the numbers if I see a pattern. So I have 2 number 5s here with the number 41 and the number 32 with these 2 cards. So we have 2 5s, which is a number symbolic of change and shift and being uncomfortable, but there's a need to change. It's the midway point between the beginning of something and the end of something. So we find ourselves in a crossroads making a decision on where we want to take this path, if we want to continue on the path we're on or if we want to change. And of course change is uncomfortable, so that is the number 5 here. And we have 8, breakthrough, and the number 8, again we have some symbols of change with the butterflies, and this woman looks like she's having a release here. Interesting. We can see that as a symbolic sexual innuendo. And we have the crashing waves, which I've never really noticed too much before, but there's like gushing waves. I'm being childish. And just transformation coming from her breakthrough and release. And the number 8 is a number of strength in the tarot, a strength card. Number of, and other thing, let me rewind real quick. So the strength card is the 8th card in the major arcana in the tarot, which the major arcana symbolizes major life events, and I'm sure other things, but I won't get too deep into that. As far as the number 8 in tarot, we're looking at the strength card, which is depicted as a woman who is holding open the mouth of a lion, or as some people have interpreted it as she's taming the beast, taming the lion. So with the breakthrough card here, I feel like there is a strength and vulnerability, which the strength card speaks of, and also taming the beast of your mind, which is really keeping you from this breakthrough, from this release, from this ability to experience pleasure and come out of this cycle, which is another thing I wanted to say about the number 8. It can be very cyclical. When we see the number 8, there's no really end to the number 8, so some people can see it as like the infinity, but it's also kind of being on this merry-go-round of a cycle that we can't get off of. So there's this need to, with the number 5 leading to the number 8, there's a need to shift out of this cycle, which is the breakthrough. So coming back into the body is a way for you to tap into your sexual energy here, group 1. Moving away from the details with the Sagittarius in reverse, there's a need to relax. I'm seeing nerves and balls and knots of muscle in the back and in the neck and the shoulders being really tense, from anxiously worrying about very, very tiny small things that don't matter in the long run. Fire, number 28, and transparency. Wow, I'm having so much fun. This is really just reading itself. Transparency and fire. So having more fun, relaxing, being spontaneous. The fire card reads creation, destruction, beginning, expression. So with this constipated repression, this constipated sexual energy. Of course, there's no like true expression of self when it comes to that. And the transparency also emphasizes a deeper level of expression. It says honest, authentic, genuine, and present. Ooh, 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 ooh. Present really sticks out to me. So we have the number 2 for balance. Number 2 representative of balance, equilibrium. And then we have the number 28, which adds up to the number 10. And here we see the end of a cycle represented here at the number 10. I guess you would add up 1 and 0, which would be the number 1 if you want to do that. I'm not sure if 0, I think that's what you would do. But we can look at number 10 as the end, and then leading into adding up to the number 1, the end of a cycle. So there's a need to, and fire is definitely an element represented very strongly and connected strongly to our creative energy, passion, sex, sex drive, libido. So there's a need here to play, to ask questions, with this insight in reverse here as your theme. There's a need to ask more questions, to experiment. If you're feeling pulled towards something, like yesterday I signed up randomly for this aerial silks class, because I mean, I didn't have really any expectations, but I've been wanting to play more. So that's a good example of, you see some sort of like, I don't know, pole dancing class, and you're like, this is gonna be really awkward, but I want to learn it, you know. So that's where the discomfort is. And I relate to this group because there's a lot of, especially yesterday in the class, I was like, do I look pretty? Is my toe pointed? I feel awkward. Do I look sexy in the air? I don't know. What's my body doing? I can't really see. I'm just laughing. That's what you have to do. I mean, when you really express all this out loud, and that might be a good practice for you to really laugh at yourself and what you're thinking and how your anxiety runs and how these thoughts run in your mind. Maybe you should say the things that you're thinking out loud to yourself as you're thinking them. And some of these things, when you actually hear yourself say them, they might make you laugh, and it kind of deflates and diffuses those thoughts, and they make them less scary. So that might be a practice for you. But yeah, there's a need to dive into the self a little bit more. Getting lost in the details can become a little superficial, and again, takes you out of your body. I want to say, though, that if this is the shadow of you not being able to tap into your sexual energy, that what's being shown here with the repetitive mentioning of the word trust, the fire card here, these are things that are the light and higher frequency expressions of your sexual energy. So that's just something that I want to mention that's possible for you. This is the better expression of your sexual energy, which is to be open and transparent and fun and relaxed and confident, is another thing that comes to me with the fire element. So doing things, and movement as well. So moving your body, I feel that there's a lack of intelligence when it comes to how your body moves, what's possible for your body, what your body likes to eat. There's this sort of lack of consciousness, of body consciousness, and the importance of the body. And how I also want to mention too how the body can store a lot of different things within itself, and how anxiety can really affect us being able to relax within our bodies. So with the destruction and the beginning, it kind of taps back into the fives that I pointed out in the card numbers. and the breakthrough with the number 8 and then 10. So again, this part of your existence needs to be destroyed. That sounds so intense. But you're being asked, your sexual energy is really, this is the beginning, I feel. If this is the state that you're in and you're watching this because you're curious, this is the beginning. It's time to explore. This is your sign that this is you actively deciding to get rid of this this pent-up energy because it's holding you back, and you're aware of that, or else you wouldn't be watching something like this that is about how to tap into this sexual energy. So yes, be playful, be light, be curious, and be real with yourself. Don't be embarrassed, because I mean, that's the other thing too, like when you decide to be vulnerable and try something new, it will be a little awkward, and to embrace that awkwardness is a level of transparency that should be embraced, and you should become comfortable with, and a level of transparency that's being asked of you. And I don't know if I touched back on this, sometimes I bounce around a little bit, but present is one of the words here. So again, like when you're aware of your body and what it's doing in a moment, you become present, you're back into the here and now. And I feel that again, like being in your head, being very heady, is pulling you out of the present and into these other like scenarios and self-fulfilling prophecies and timelines and what ifs and impossible scenarios. So yeah, that's not fun. That is not fun at all. Okay, how can group 1 tap into their sexual energy? Tapping into their sexual energy, group 1. Okay, interesting. Do I want to pull that Tower card? Star, tapping into their sexual energy, group 1. How can group 1 tap into their sexual energy? Wow, that's powerful. Okay, so we have, again, the end of a cycle. You are coming out and becoming this person who is vulnerable, and that is represented through her nakedness. We have some Aquarian energy on the board. I'm feeling I'm feeling a Scorpio rising, Aquarius in the 4th house, or Aquarius in the 8th house, or even Aquarius in the 12th. So any of the water houses, because I feel that this is a group that may have hidden their like quirks and kinks and interests. So there's a need to kind of strip down and destroy all that has kept you from being this authentic person, from showing yourself and who you are in a vulnerable and honest and genuine and authentic way, and getting rid of and destroying this sort of like emotional immaturity, becoming more aware of your emotions, tapping into those things. Because when we're thinking of sexual energy and this chakra it's connected to, it's the sacral chakra. I feel like there's other ones that you can connect the sexual energy to, probably solar plexus a little bit, but sacral chakra specifically, the element for the sacral chakra is water. And when we connect with water, we think of a creativity, psychic realm, emotions. So when you are in this mental place, there is a lack of development and awareness of your emotions when you're so stuck in your head, which can lead to emotional immaturity, and this can come out and be played out in a bunch of different ways, like always being the martyr, not owning up to your emotions, projecting your emotions on other people, manipulation to get what you want instead of just saying what you want because you're embarrassed to admit it. Again, the transparency here. So there's a need to end this cycle. And this is like you being here is you realizing like, okay, I feel like this group is very aware, like, okay, something's got to give. Like, I'm so tight. My butthole is so tight. Like, I can't have any fun. I feel that I can't be like these other people that I admire who are just very creative and very free and very relaxed and grounded in their body. How can I be that person? How can I do that? It's going to be destroying the foundation of what got you to where you are right now, being this person that isn't who you are capable of being, which is somebody who is just like what you're projecting and admiring. Like, projection can be an inferiority that we place onto ourselves. So this could even be somebody who is like, whoa, my friend, I seem to attract people, or I seem to look up to people who are very comfortable in their bodies. They love being naked. They love painting and creating, and they just create without judging themselves. Like, wow, how do they do that? Like, that in a sense is a form of projection, because you're idolizing this person for some traits that you have not yet tapped into and you can't see, and you're blinding yourself further from those traits by placing them on somebody and identifying those traits as something that are inaccessible to you, that you can't pull out of yourself through practice, through awareness, self-awareness. So you're being invited here. You're at this, again, fork in the road where it's like, okay, do you want to go on this path? You want to go left, or you want to go right, where you've always gone? You want to go right or you want to go left? So yeah, group 1, that came through very clearly. I feel this group is very, I can always tell the Mercurial airy group because I'm talking so fast. So this group might have a lot of air or Virgo energy. I want to say Capricorn a little bit, because Capricorn can be tense. It can. I'm not getting as much, but I wanted to throw that sign out there as well. So yeah, thank you guys for stopping by. This is the end of your reading. I hope that was helpful. Let me know down below what stuck out for you, and like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I can't wait to see you again. Hey, group 2, how you doing? I don't know what that was about. I'm thinking that song "Let's Talk About Sex" started playing in my head. I wanted to sing it, but I held back for a moment. So that's why I was acting so strange. Contemplation. Heighten your vitality. Okay, this feels like the sexual energy is a little bit scattered. Like it's being shared a lot. where there's no real intention whenever you share it. I'm also getting like there's not a lot of discernment when it comes to whom this is being shared with either. Okay, it's like I'm getting this group is being asked to tap into their sexual energy more responsibly. Like you have a lot of it, but it's not being honed in on in a productive way. So maybe like instead of I don't know, finishing a painting, you go out and like drink and party, and like that's how you use your life force energy, your sexual energy, to go party, to go like I don't know why that's an example. I feel like that's a lighter example than what I'm thinking of, because I'm not trying to like offend anyone. Yeah, I just feel that this group, there's a better way in which you can train and use your sexual energy. It's almost like you're still using your sexual energy for like archaic reasons. That sounds very poetically put, but it's like I'm getting semen retention, I'm getting celibacy here, I'm getting like a burnout almost, and a drainage of your energy, like an energy leak, because of how you're using it irresponsibly. It's like I'm seeing someone with a lot of projects that never got done, with a business that they started but never really tapped back into, like just almost like somebody who's running on fumes, maybe a little bit of overindulgence, addictive personality, unhealthy habits. Yeah, there's a real emphasis on just not completing things, and again, that's a sign that the sexual energy is not being focused. It's scattered. Because if it was focused, you'd be able to finish something, maybe not in one go, but you would have the drive to finish it, and you wouldn't be just spewing your seed of life everywhere, I guess. And when I was saying semen retention earlier, this can all be taken literally, or it can be taken in a metaphorical sense. So your life force energy is your sexual energy. So your life force energy here, from what I'm seeing, needs to be pulled back in. You need to be more selfish with it. You need to be more discerning with it. And there's a lot of creative potential here that isn't being tapped into because of the way that your energy is so scattered. I'm not saying like don't drink, don't, but just be aware of where there's some imbalances that is hindering you from really tapping into the higher frequency reservoirs of your sexual energy. So the example I wanted to say was like the basic ass way, the primal isn't a good word. The basic ancient isn't a good word either. Let's say just the basic bitch way of using your sexual energy is going and fucking everybody. Okay? That's the basic ass way of using your sexual energy. Yeah, like obviously that's a way and a form of using your sexual energy, but you're being asked to like mature beyond that. And this is just an example. It might not be like, that might not be the actual example. Like you could also use the example I said earlier, like smoking too much, drinking too much, because addictions are stemmed from and housed within the sacral chakra, which is one of the chakras associated with sexual energy, a prime one. Solar plexus maybe a little bit, but the sacral energy houses our emotions, our sexual traumas, addictions, overindulgences. So I feel that with this group, your sacral chakra may be overactive, so you may overindulge in certain foods, overspending money on things that don't matter, you know? So I used promiscuity as an example, but this could be, that's one of very many examples of just being overindulgent, of scattering your energy in a frivolous way, maybe even hanging out with people that don't feed you or uplift you or inspire you or challenge you. You're just kind of like, it's like the energy of somebody who's just kind of floating around, like without an aim or a purpose. You're just shooting your arrows just blindly with no focus. But the thing is, like, I feel like this group has things that they can focus on. It's not like you're lost. It's just you're scattered. You're just not, you just can't like finish things. So I'm getting strong Aries energy here for sure. So the cards, I didn't even read them. We have heighten your vitality. I hope you can see this. The sun is kind of doing some interesting things right now. I welcome clear vision and inspired action. Alright. Completion in reverse. That was your card. With the bones. Corals, wisdom. It says colony, delicacy, fragility, works that are created over great periods of time. Perception, focus, fear, and action. I've never pulled this animal card, so I'm going to skim through that real quick to see if there's any other messages. And then we have Leo. Leo, Leo, Leo. Steady flame, steady fire, consistent. Yeah, so I mentioned celibacy. I really feel like there is something that needs to be withheld from. It might not be sex specifically, but it could be, oh, that's a very good example. I'm also getting a dopamine detox. So some of the addictions from y'all may be just needing stimulation. So if you're not moving, maybe you're on social media compulsively. Which can be, again, another drain to your vitality, to your life force energy. So this heighten your vitality card is sticking out very, very much so. So whatever is draining your energy, and your energy also connects with your attention. So whatever's distracting you, whatever's keeping you from tapping into your gifts, your talents, your abilities. There is strong leadership ability here, an ability to create your own shit, business or way of making money, something like that. Like, there's a vision that's being procrastinated upon because of this scattered energy. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, so we have number 9, Shark. Shark is a threshold guardian. Her role is to test your commitment to the path you have chosen, not with intention to thwart or swallow you in the process, but to give you the gift of experiencing yourself moving beyond that which may have held you back in the past. Wow. When Shark swims into your waters, she does so not to invoke fear, but to give you the opportunity to face your fears or hidden concerns and allow them to dissolve into the clear waters before you. Yes, so Shark connects us with the creative element of water, with a level of discernment that allows us to be clear, decisive, and direct. Use your sensitivity to inform your actions. Heightened sensitivity, take time to be alone. There's definitely that emphasized with the number 9 here. There's some hermitude here. So kind of separating yourself to ground in these ideas. So there's definitely something here that you're sitting on, but you're impatient about the time it might take to build it, to the energy it might take, which you have plenty of energy. I don't think that's the problem. It's just like there's a need to kind of allow yourself to be creative with how you set up a ritual to get this thing done, or to get anything done. That's beautiful. Yeah, the thing is, there is a real need to slow down a little bit so you can really hear what your next steps are. There may be a need to move around and distract yourself and procrastinate because of, again, like fear. Fear of failure, fear of criticism, not being good enough, inadequacies. But y'all are very capable of whatever you're trying to do, and a lot of times what we're fearing is really not that big. It's like the invisible boogeyman in the closet that you have created within your mind because you can't see in the dark. But when the lights come on, there is no real boogeyman. It was all in your mind. So yeah, if you were given a vision here, group 2, if you are constantly inspired with so many ideas, which I'm sure you are, because there's like just like this very like abundant amount of sexual creative energy, don't sleep on them, because some of them, which I learned recently with a reading that I wanted to do, but then as time went on, it almost kind of faded away as an idea, and a new idea popped up. Sometimes ideas that we are given have a time limit on it. It's not that. So with the example that I gave you with the reading I wanted to do, I waited a little too long and then it became irrelevant. But it doesn't mean that I can't do it at another time, at a later date. But I will say the time in which we get ideas and the opportunities that we are given are very important. And some may land, some may not, but it's always good to practice taking those inspired actions whenever they are gifted to us, so we can understand how our intuition works, how our creativity works, how our muse shows up, and also opening up the space consistently so that we can engage and commune with the muse that wants to assist us in producing things creatively and building things with our sexual energy. So this is a lot to do with the tapping in with your sexual energy is mostly around balancing it with group 2. Like, you have an abundance amount of it compared to group 1. Like, you're using it, you're aware of it, aware enough to know that you have a lot of it and you can do what thou wilt with it, but not aware enough. There's a need to have a deeper awareness of how precious this sexual energy is, how much of a blessing it is to have a lot of it, and that if it's not used and directed properly and productively, you will run out of it and it will be burnt out. So when you're doing the things that feed you, it'll feel as though you are overflowing consistently with this vitality, but burnout is a good telltale sign, and being drained, kind of feeling worn down, is a good sign and indicator of whether you're making good use of your sexual energy. Yeah, y'all feel very alpha. There's like, I mean, the apex predator of a shark, Leo, the lion, like, and then we have the eagle here on top of her head. There's just like very powerful animal symbolism with this group. So there's definitely an ability to lead. Like when you focus on something, it's over with. I'm getting Aries energy and Scorpio energy for sure. Scorpio Mars. I don't know if I mentioned the birth chart calculator in the description box underneath the timestamps. If you want to tap into that modality, it's a lovely one. I have fun with it a lot. I love astrology, different types of astrologies. So yeah, tap into that. See what archetypes kind of roll over your birth chart. There's plenty of videos surrounding that. If you're curious, but the zodiac signs that I'm feeling, the energy that I'm feeling is Scorpio and Mars, the planet Mars, the signs Scorpio and Aries, and I'm also getting Mars in the 8th house, Mars in the 1st house, Mars in the 5th house. Definitely Mars in the 5th house, which makes sense because there could be some like just drive to date, to sleep around, to party, to have like a little too much fun, overindulging in that. So yeah, I definitely can see a person here having Mars in the 5th house. Mars in Leo, Scorpio, and Aries as well are the other placements that I'm seeing. And Mars in the 8th house, possibly. The 1st, the 5th, the 8th, and Scorpio, Leo, Aries. I'm trying to think, is there, I think that's it, yeah, okay. Pile 2, I can pile 2, tap into their sexual energy. Whoa, that, okay, wow. Oh man, okay. Pile 2, tap into their sexual energy. Whoa. Pile 2, tapping into pile 2. And pile 2, tap into their sexual energy. Okay. Discernment. There's a need to discern how and set boundaries on how you're using your sexual energy, which we talked about a little bit earlier. Valuing and cherishing, investing in something to focus your sexual energy in, as well as yourself, investing in yourself. Yeah, setting boundaries and also focusing your energy and being aware of these sort of like elementary impulses and addictions that you may have, these like very short-term instant gratifying pleasures that maybe need to be trashed, essentially, that may be blocking you from tapping into a more mature level and use of your sexual energy. So any codependencies, any like itches that you always feel like you need to scratch, things like that. Drinking keeps coming up here, like partying too much, like going out too much and spending your money frivolously. Like, look at your investments. People are investments, activities are investments. Like, look at them, and are they long lasting or are they short lived here, because that's how you're burning out your vitality here. You need to be more aware of that. And yes, it might be boring sometimes. I feel like I'm talking to the Aries crew here. It might be a little slow. It might be boring. But there's ways. I want to challenge you and say that there's ways in which you can make building something and investing in something interesting in your own unique way. It doesn't have to look like everybody else where there's a 1, 2, 3 step fucking process. It doesn't have to be like that. You can make it your own, but it's super important for you to recognize who has control here with the Devil and the Ace of Wands. Is it your primal caveman impulses? Do they control you, or do you control them? Yeah. Yeah, it's up to you. It's time to mature beyond that, group 2, because you have a lot of power. It's like if President Obama, I don't know why this is, I hope this is, sorry, I feel like this is about to be a ridiculous example. It's like if President Obama or like any of the, I don't know if presidents are a good example because it's debatable based on your opinion, because politics is very loaded, but it's like if like, I don't know, I feel like these are very loaded examples. Okay, let's say like Cleopatra, instead of conquering Egypt, she just decided to like hang out with her girlfriends and just stay small in her like kingdom with her brother, and allowed people to just, that's not a very good example. I guess what I'm trying to say, I'm sorry, what I'm trying to say is like, it's like you are meant to be bigger than what you are doing right now. Like, it's like if somebody who's meant to be, if Beyonce, instead of being Beyonce, she decided to just stay where she was and just like party and chill with her friends in her hometown, and even though she had such a beautiful voice, but then she somehow ruined it because she kept indulging in like these things that weren't really good practices for her to hone in on this beautiful gift that she had. I don't know, I still don't like that example. I hope that I'm making sense. It's just like, it's time to look beyond these small pleasures and realize that your purpose is a little bit bigger than this like instant gratification, because it's like you are meant to be timeless and long lasting, and the things that you're doing right now are not that. They are very fleeting. So because you are meant to be classic and important in that way, you need to be doing and investing in things that are as long lasting and as long lasting as you are meant to be as a person in the way that you move and show up in the world. Does that make sense? I don't know. I feel like it does. Let's not I'm trying to get out of the habit of saying I don't know whenever I feel insecure about what I'm saying. So yeah, I feel like I did make sense. Anyways, thank you for being here and listening to me, group 2. I hope you had a good time with me. Let me know in the comments down below what stuck out for you, or just say hi. What's up? Like, share, and subscribe for more, and I can't wait to see you again. Hey, what's up? How are you doing, Group 3. Oh, yeah, the more I do this, the more comfortable I'm getting. So, I'm a little weird sometimes. I'm a little strange. Anyways, hi, I'm Tiffany. I'm doing a reading today on how to tap into your sexual energy, your life force energy, your creative energy, your gushing reservoir of potential. That's funny. Anyways, we have recognition. Every time I see this card, it's always somebody who is just completely unaware. I fucking hate this song. Oh my gosh. The One Direction song, "You Don't Know You're Beautiful," is playing in my head. So yeah, that message is very much relevant for the way that this card reverse makes me feel, the vibe that it gives off every time I see it. I don't know, it's like, oof, okay. I feel like this group wasn't really appreciated the way that they should have been. Like, they don't really know what love is. This is really deep this is weird. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just kind of like, whoa, like that, we just dove in that bitch. Yeah, I feel like there's a lack of acknowledgement from the self because there's a lack of acknowledgement externally from other people. So dating fuck boys or fuck girls or fuck beings, whatever you identify with, I don't know. Just people who, or even being disregarded, like, it could be as small as, like, people just didn't, like, really listen to your ideas. I'm getting this this memory of this coworker I had. She was my manager, and we would make suggestions sometimes to the customers that would come into the store. Like, we would kind of style them and stuff. So I remember her saying, like, every time somebody would ask me for a suggestion, they wouldn't listen to me, but then whenever so-and-so would make a suggestion, they would always listen to her. And so she just felt like some kind of way about it. So that's another thing that I'm thinking about, is like, you had like a lot of ideas, but at a certain point, I'm getting the image also of a child who stops raising their hand. They just stop raising their hand, they stop giving ideas, or they stop putting themselves out there because maybe there was some like small trauma of embarrassment around being wrong every time you raise your hand. Or maybe like these are such like specific and little like examples, but like I'm also getting somebody who's like maybe who always rose their hand and people would get annoyed by that, so you just kind of like there's like this level of hiding that eventually rooted itself and grew into a disorder, not disorder, like an inability to see the self because you hid for so long, because you stopped showing up as yourself, or people didn't acknowledge you, people didn't see you for who you are, so it's hard for you to see yourself for who you are, kind of thing. So I'm gonna start with this one. Koala, cute. I'm gonna have to read that card because I've never gotten that card. Receptivity in reverse. We've got, let me pull these down. There we go. Receptivity in reverse, the Selkie and her skin. Oh, definitely. Uranus in reverse. Okay. the number 8 here, the lion, and be spontaneous. Beautiful. Okay. Yeah, this screams to me, put yourself out there. Just take more risks. Yeah, there's something about putting yourself out there. There's like a level, some of you may have come from group 1, because it feels similar. It feels like an extension of group 1 a little bit. Yeah, there's this need to be when I see I am courageous, steady, and strong, there's like I'm being brought to, and then we have the number 8 here. I'm being brought to the strength card, and the strength in the strength card in the Tarot Major Arcana is in the vulnerability, which leads me to receptivity in reverse. So like I was saying, like in the examples I gave earlier in the reading for group, there was eventually some kind of behavior that was blocked off. Like you began to hide yourself. Yeah, I'm getting a strong, I just got that, like this fear of rejection came through, which can definitely lead to you closing yourself off from receiving or getting close to people, or hiding yourself. That could be another level of you not recognizing yourself because you've hidden yourself for so long, because maybe there's something very weird and quirky about you, which I see here with the Uranus. So we have like the axis here that's being shown, the astrological axis of Leo and Aquarius, which is all about, these two signs are all about individuality and self-expression. Uranus definitely is your creative, it's your planet of like your creative genius, your mad scientist planet, and that's being blocked off and hidden in this group as well. And both of the signs are also very spontaneous and very like lively and social, and Aquarius for sure is very unpredictable in a lot of ways, but there is yeah, a need, and here we have the Selkie and her skin, reclaiming your authenticity, which adds up to a number 7. 7 is definitely a number that connects to individuality. Wow. And then here we have another number 8 with 4. Yes, so there's this cycle that is being brought to your attention and your conscious awareness of you hiding yourself, and it no longer serving you anymore, because you're not that person anymore. You didn't have to be that person. You were to protect yourself, like there was a good reason for that, but now at this point in time, like there is no reason for you to continue embodying this mask, this false identity of who you are, because it's like very, I'm getting this is TMI, but I'm getting like the image of like clogged intestines, like constipation, or things that are hard to digest. So it's almost like this person that you've been, swallowing who you are, swallowing your own words, biting your tongue. It's become hard for you to digest. And interestingly enough, the digestive system connects to the solar plexus chakra, which is our will, our confidence, our power, where our soul kind of like thrives. Well, the soul could be in the heart. I don't know. I'm being ridiculous. I'm being nitpicky. But yeah, there's a lot of soulfulness that comes through, a lot of radiance that can be had and expressed when we talk about the solar plexus. So yeah, there may be some issues with digestion for some of you. I don't know, that came up, but that could be due to an imbalance in the solar plexus chakra, and feeling insecure, and insecure about showing up as your true self. Yeah, so be spontaneous. This is, when I see this card, it's so interesting. We have, like, they may be fairies, but something about them looks alien-like, which brings me back to, again, Aquarius. And then the sun. The lines at the bottom kind of look moon-ish, but it looks like they're in front of the sun, and then these aliens are in front. So again, like, when I see aliens, I think of Aquarius, because Aquarius is very much connected to space and the ether and very unorthodox things, taboo things, like taboo ideas, like aliens. And then we have the sun, or what looks like the sun behind it, which again brings me back to Leo. So there's this emphasis on tapping into your quirks, your kinks. I'm also getting shadow work here because I was listening to a podcast today on my walk. I walk trails a lot. I've been like obsessed with coming outside. But there's this really awesome podcast episode I found. I never even listened to this girl before. I just found her. She just came up on my feed randomly. And she was interviewing the guy. I'll probably link the video for y'all because I can't remember any of the names right now. But he was talking about how the shadow is the things that we have actively rejected that are innately a part of ourselves. So I think that's why that's coming up here. There's a need to kind of do some introspective work, some shadow work, to be able to uncover the things that you disconnected from, or go through old pictures, old relics and memorabilia of things which can also be in a way shadow work. There's a need to go backwards to rediscover what you need to awaken within you actively. What you need to discover. Let me start over. There's a need to go backwards to recollect on something that you used to do, the way you used to express yourself, to remind yourself of what will assist you in stepping into your authenticity in the present moment now. So yeah, sometimes when I'm lost, I'll look at old pictures. I have a lot of old pictures, like baby pictures of myself up, and like just things that I had from like middle school and stuff. And if I'm ever confused about like the things I'm into, I can go back into my memory bank, because sometimes I forget these things, which is just weird how that happens. But whenever you make the space to tap back into it, it's there. And I'm always just like, man, like, you know, what did I like to do? Like, am I doing the right things? Like, what is that? And, you know, I'll find like this thing I wrote when I was 11, and it just makes me laugh, and it reminds me like, oh yeah, I remember, like, one of the things I loved doing was writing. And so it helps me reconnect back into like my focal point and focus and purpose, and how I can use my creativity and creative energy / sexual energy. So yeah, your sexual energy, the way you tap into it is by being real. Just be real, be yourself. You're blocking it off, because sexual energy, I feel, is like the soul. I mean, think about it. Whenever we were created, our parents, you know, did what they did, and I'm sorry. That was such a childish way of describing that, but they did what they did, and then our soul came through, you know what I mean? So And that took two people's sexual energy to create and cultivate the little being that you are, and the adult or young adult that you are right now. So thinking about it in that sense, being as authentic as you are is how you, just in the basic sense, use your sexual energy, how you tap into it. And then anything else that comes of that from your authentic space is just like sprinkles on a cupcake. It's like icing on the cake, it just expands on that basic foundation of tapping into your sexual energy, which is through being real. Just be as real as you possibly can be. And you might not always know what that is, but it's being curious, being experimental, being brave. And I mean, yeah, there you go. There's your message. Let's see what's going on here with the koala. Koala, ala, 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 Okay. Moving through life at a similar pace as the great panda, koala brings the deep gifts of calm and ease in a unique way. For he calls us to recognize ourselves as a catalyst for awakening these qualities in others. Koala says you have a great opportunity and responsibility to be a source of peace and positive perspective to the world, not by preaching or forcing your opinions on others, but by simply embodying these deep values to such a degree that they radiate from your presence, positively impacting the energy fields of others. Recognize that wherever you are a center of influence in the greater tribe. Your words and actions are important, but the energetic undercurrents of how you show up and who you are being on a moment-to-moment basis has perhaps the greatest impact on the outcome of your endeavor and the effect you have on others. Koala says it's not so much what we do. Koala does very little. But the energy we bring to it that matters most. Your first job is simply to turn on the tap from within. Koala teaches us that when we slow down enough to experience the pause between our in-breath and our out-breath, we will discover the secrets of the universe hidden there. I breathe deep with a warm smile and relax into the arms of the great tree of life. I feel peace, calm, and new possibility. I bring this wherever I go. That was a very relaxing message. Yeah. I don't really have much to say about that, to be honest. Okay. Play. I feel like whenever you're worried about the you that you are leaking out from underneath the mask that you wear, it's hard to relax. It's hard to play, to be open, to be receptive. It's okay if you're a little, if you're a little strange, if you're a little awkward. If it's a little awkward at first, because maybe you've been a certain way most of your life and people are like, are you feeling okay? Like, you're wearing neon tights and a leopard print, like, snapback hat. Like, you normally just wear black clothes. Like, what's going on with you, Rebecca? And Rebecca's like, I don't give a fuck. That's what's going on. And yeah, and Rebecca is just like doing her now. She's like, I never wanted to wear black clothes. It's just what I thought was cool. Yeah, Rebecca doesn't give a fuck. Okay. That's funny. My examples are just so ridiculous sometimes. Anyway. Okay. Group 3. How can group 3 tap into their sexual energy? How can group 3 tap into their sexual energy? Wowza. That's a beautiful, beautiful start. How can group 3 tap into their sexual energy? Okay. Okay. Yeah, so similar to the message that we tapped into with the koala, there's a need to slow down a little bit. Recognize where you're forcing, where there's ease. Recognize recognize where you stand with things and make decisions authentically from that place, from within, from your true self. Decide what is for you and what isn't. And most importantly is your goal should be emotional fulfillment, and deciding from that space of emotional fulfillment. And that may, again, like, you may need to slow down to make these decisions. Because if it's been a long time since you've tapped into your authentic voice, vision, and expression, your initial response may or may not be from an authentic place. It may be from a wounded place. It may be from a conformed and domesticated place versus your quote wild and authentic, genuine space. So yes, that should be your focus when making decisions, and eventually after some time it'll be really easy for you to act and know that this is how you want to direct your sexual energy, how you want to direct your focus, how you want to share your sexual energy, your creative energy, what you want to invest that beautiful life force energy into. And it should always be a space in which you can sense and know deeply that you will be fully emotionally fulfilled and full of joy and inspired, overflowing. You feel grateful. You don't feel as though you need to effort so much, you need to force it. It feels very natural and easeful. There's no indecisiveness that comes up either. You just know. You can ask yourself inwardly, and it's a resounding yes, a fuck yeah, a hell yes, whenever you tap into, or whenever you make a decision or you move towards something, or you dress a certain way, you know. I'm getting like starting with the way that you dress. I named that a silly example earlier, but that's a form of expression. So I'm getting that as a good starting point of practicing moving in that space with your energy. It's like, okay, I'm gonna go to the store, or I'm gonna browse Depop and see like what really calls to me, like what turns me on when I look at it, because you want your closet to arouse you, right? Like you want to be aroused by your closet, and every time you put something on, you're like, damn, yeah, that's it, that's the fit, like that's the fucking, like that was made for me. That was made for my skin, my body. Like, you put on some shoes and you're like, yeah, that's, oof. Oh my gosh, like, damn. You want to be turned on by your projects, by your job. Like, imagine a life where you're always aroused by what you're doing and who you're around and the things you're discussing and talking about, and what you're building, what you eat, what you drink. That 10 of Cups, emotional fulfillment. Okay, that was awesome. Thank you so much, group 3, for stopping by and visiting. It was nice to meet you. And yeah, let me know down below what you thought. Take some notes if anything, any kind of insights or downloads or anything like that popped up throughout this reading. It's always good to look back on that and integrate it. So yeah, like, share, and subscribe if you're into this and you want more of this. And yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for stopping by.